Hello and welcome back to the Beautiful Things channel. Today I want to show you how to make a really simple insert that you can pop into any large bag to basically work like a solid bottom. The bag that I'm going to be putting this bottom into is the Choose Your Own Adventure bag, which is a bag that I have designed. It's for members of our sewing club at the moment, but it will be released fairly soon as a standalone course. And this is a large bag that you can either make nice and soft like this one or more sturdy and solid like this one. Now the box bottoms are really simple and easy to make. All you need to do is cut yourself a piece of cardboard that is 1/2 inch smaller than the main base panel of your bag. So as an example, these ones are 18 by 6. So this is 17.5 by 5.5. It's a fairly strong cardboard, but what I'm also going to cut out is a piece of plastic chopping board. Now this is from IKEA, but you can buy these in the pound shop. It's not actually long enough to cut the full 17.5, so I have cut as long as I could and then a smaller piece that I can add onto the end to make it the right length. You then want to cut a piece of fabric. Now for this particular size, the fabric is 19.5 long by 12.25 wide, and basically you want to be able to wrap your piece of card up and stitch with 1/4 inch seam allowance along one end and along the bottom, and then have enough fabric to turn under at the other end. So you just want to make a little bit of a guidance. You can put your card down onto your fabric, fold it over, and just you can have a feel with your finger to see whether you've got a large enough piece. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate. So the first thing I'm going to do is secure my cardboard and my plastic chopping board together. And I'm going to do that using trusty gaffer tape, or duct tape as it's called in America. So I'm just going to take some of the tape. It doesn't have to be pretty. Oh no, I'm going to have to use my pretty pink one. There's none of this left. Plan B, I'm going to go for this pink one because I don't have any of my black left. But obviously it doesn't have to be fancy. I'm just going to pull off some strips, and I'm just going to stick my chopping board to my cardboard. Now you can, if you've got it, use poster board or a thick piece of perspex or a thin piece of plywood, anything sturdy basically, but I've decided to use this chopping board. It's just going to stop the cardboard from bending, and it's going to give me a little bit of structure. So once I've stuck my long piece on, I'm just going to tack my little bit on to the other end. And again, it's just going to stop that card from bending. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just like the press and cut board, I'll link to that tutorial up here, that I made recently. Gaffer tape or duct tape is brilliant for this kind of thing. It's just perfect for holding stuff together that you're never going to see because you're going to be covering it with something else. So that is now all stuck together. It's fairly sturdy. It doesn't bend in half. It's immobile, don't get me wrong, but it's sturdy enough that it will give some structure to the bottom of my bag. What I'm then going to do is take my fabric and place it right side up on the table and fold it in half lengthways. And I'm going to sew down the open edges all the way down the length and across one of the short edges with 1/4 inch seam allowance. Once I've sewn that, I'm just going to remove the bulk from the corner where I did my pivot turns and from the other corner, and then I'm going to turn that in the right way through the narrow end that I've left open. Poke out those corners. And then you've got yourself a nice fabric sleeve. And you're going to slip your cardboard and plastic inside. And if it's a little bit too snug, you can trim a tiny bit off your card, but don't rush to do that because sometimes it just needs a bit of manipulation. You want it to be snug. You can see that took a little while to get in, but it has gone in, it does fit. Doesn't help as well if you're using these rubber mats. Obviously they'll stick to the inside of the fabric, so it can be fiddly to get it to go in, but it will fit. Just take your time and be patient with it. Make sure it's all the way down to the bottom. There. Once you've got it pushed all the way down to the bottom, then you can turn in the edges on your raw open end by about 1/2 inch. Bring the two raw edges, the folded edges together, and then you're going to top stitch that opening closed. So there you have it. Your cardboard and plastic mat are encased in a lovely little fabric tube. The bit that you folded in, you can just tuck under, because it's obviously going to overlap the edge of your cardboard, or you won't be able to sew it together. And you can insert it into the bottom of your bag, and it's just going to give you a nice sturdy bottom, like so. Ta-da! So I hope you enjoyed that little tutorial. I hope you find it useful. You really can just wing it. Just make sure that cardboard is a little bit smaller than the bottom of your bag and cover it in fabric. It really is that simple. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you again soon. Bye!
We all like a nice sturdy bottom.
Thank you, Elspeth.
That's a pleasure, Claire.